Welcome to Sir Pierce's Armory, where we equip you with the tactics you need to be a successful adventurer. I'm Sir Pierce, the famed magical talking sword of the great city of Hullabaloo. Today we continue our series on the basics of each class within the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons. And I know, 1 D&D is about to come out, but this is my channel, so I do what I want. Plus, most of the rules between 5th edition and 1 D&D seem to be the samesies, so these basic class guides should remain rather evergreen. This series will only be covering the core features of each class, not their subclasses. If you want subclass info, let me know in the comments below, and we might cover them at a later date. Also, we'll be focusing on lower levels of play, considering that's where most adventures take place. Today's video will be covering Bards, the most dashing and handsome adventurers that exist. Outside of magical talking swords, that is. If your desire is to enter a dragon's lair and have the choice to either fight the dragon, polymorph the dragon, or seduce the dragon, then playing a bard may be for you. However, it's important to note that not all of these choices may be as effective as each other. Though you may be a jack of all trades, in fact that's the name of one of your class features, you are far from a master of none. It's always important to remember that bards are full spellcasters, and spells are the most powerful class features in the game. So as a bard, you'll definitely be at your best when you're leaning into your greatest strength. Spellcasting. Now, all of the rules for spellcasting would take a bit too long to cover in this 101 class guide, but we'll cover a few specifics in order to make our bard as tactically efficient as possible. If you'd like me to cover spellcasting in general in more detail, leave a comment below letting me know. Now, as we begin creating our bard, we want to make sure whatever race we pick, we get our charisma as high as possible, as it is the source of our innate suave nature, and slightly more importantly, our spellcasting ability modifier. The higher our charisma, the harder our spells will be to resist. And the higher it is, the more uses we'll have of our most iconic bard feature. But more on that in a moment. Dexterity is a useful secondary ability score, and is one of our innate saving throw proficiencies, but no spellcaster ever hurts from having a high constitution either, especially when it comes to maintaining concentration on spells. And most of the best bard spells, like all of the best spells in the game, are concentration spells. So, quick tip for all spellcasters, never disregard your constitution. When it comes to picking our initial spells and cantrips, my advice is, go with what seems fun to you, and what fits your specific character. You didn't expect me to say that, did you? To be clear though, some of the spells of the same level are 100% better than other spells of the same level. But the best spells are the ones you're going to be reliably using as often as possible. In my experience, one of the biggest deciding factors to how often you'll be using a spell is how often it makes sense for your specific character to use that spell. If your character likes sneaking around and pretending to be other people, take Disguise Self. If you like doing some magical sleuthing, take Detect Magic. If you like to reveal your foes to make them easier targets for your allies on the battlefield, then take Fairy Fire. All of these are good spells, but the ones that fit your playstyle the best are going to be the ones I advise you to take, because they're the ones you'll have the most fun playing with. And remember, fun is important. As another important note, bards have very few damage-dealing spells when compared to other spellcasters. To be clear, this doesn't mean they have a bad spell list. In fact, far from it. Many of the best spells within the game don't deal overt damage. So, when choosing to play a bard, make sure you have your expectations set appropriately, and lean into the vast amount of support and battlefield control spells within the bard's spell list. Now, having covered all of my pleasantries, here's a couple of incredible and reliable spells to consider. Healing Word is one of the best healing spells within the game, and is cast as only a bonus action, which is awesome! Silvery Bombs is one of the best spells in the game, period, and is highly thematic for Bard. Both of these spells are also useful across your entire adventuring career, which is important for bards considering they are known spellcasters. What this means is the spells bards choose, they always know, versus some other spellcasters who are prepared, meaning they can change their spells whenever they take a long rest and prepare them. Whatever we pick, we're stuck with. That is outside of when we level up, when we're allowed to swap one spell we know for another from the bard spell list. A final note regarding a bard's spell choices is that they have the ritual casting feature. Ritual casting is awesome. These are the rules. It might seem a little complicated, so feel free to pause the video and read them over. In summation though, spells with the ritual tag can be cast over 10 minutes plus the spell's normal casting time without expending a spell slot. And as a spellcaster, we love casting spells without expending spell slots. It's like free candy. Everyone likes free candy. So, always be sure to note which spells on our spell list have the ritual tag. As we reach 3rd and 5th level, we gain 2nd and 3rd level spells respectively. A good spell to pick from each level when in doubt is the 2nd level spell Invisibility, and the 3rd level spell Hypnotic Pattern, especially Hypnotic Pattern. It's a really good spell, so be sure to look it over. I know we just spent a lot of time covering spellcasting, but remember, spells are the most powerful class features in the game. So, utilizing them properly is how we can be the best bard possible. In addition to our awesome spellcasting, we also have a few other notable features. First off, we gain the aforementioned Jack of all trades feature at 2nd level, enabling us to add half of our proficiency bonus to any skill check we make in which we aren't already proficient. Second, we gain expertise at 3rd level, enabling us to double our proficiency bonus for 2 skills of our choice. Put these 2 features together, and bards are some of the best skill-based players within the game. When it comes to expertise, my tip is to always double down on skills you're already great at, and become a freaking god at them instead. Some iconic choices are, of course, our charisma-based skills, and none of them are bad. So, pick the ones your specific character will get the most use out of. Finally, we arrive at what is considered the Bard's most iconic class feature, Bardic Inspiration. And it's iconic for a reason, cause it's awesome. This is how it works. A few things to note. It lasts for 10 minutes, which is a long time in any situation and a lifetime within combat. So, make sure you encourage your allies to save them for the best opportunity, though it can be tempting to use them on attack rolls and ability checks, and neither of these are bad options, especially within specific situations. Saving throws, though, are often your best bet to get the most bang for your buck when it comes to your Bardic Inspiration. Quick tip, you have to give your Bardic Inspiration before a player needs it, which is easy since it lasts for 10 minutes, so once given, the player can wait to use it at the most opportune time. We only have a limited amount of uses of our Bardic Inspiration to begin with, and they only come back on a long rest. So, be a little stringent with them in the beginning of your adventuring career, and save them for more dangerous or difficult situations. Once you reach 5th level, however, this isn't nearly as much of a concern, as we now regain all of our Bardic Inspiration dice on a short rest. So, give those things out as freely as the cleric gives out pamphlets for their deity. As a final note, when we pick our subclass, almost all of them contain additional uses for our Bardic Inspiration dice. So, keep that in mind as you ration them out between rests. In conclusion, we're at our bardiest best when we fully embrace our spellcasting abilities and use them as well as our Bardic Inspiration to boost our allies and control the battlefield while we strum our lute to whatever song beats within our heart. Thus ends our Bard 101 video. Let us know your best Bard tactics below, and stay tuned for more class videos soon by liking and subscribing!